Welcome to Agency for Agents, a podcast for real estate team leaders and independent brokerage owners looking to maximize profits, effectiveness, and gain freedom for their team and business. Your hosts, Christine Andreasen and Aaron Hendon, have been running one of the most successful real estate teams in the Seattle area for more than 8 years. They know building a winning team means finding ways to empower, nurture, train, and develop individual agents to discover their own power, their own agency. On the podcast, Christine and Aaron interview thought leaders in real estate and personal growth to help you impact both your performance and your teams. We know it takes a lot, and leaders and brokers that crack that code reap the rewards of success greater than any they could ever achieve on their own.
Brad, Cary, I so appreciate your taking the time to be on the show. Like we were talking pre-show, this is really an opportunity for me as a team leader and other team leaders to get the question answered. Am I doing this right? So, you guys have a really unique value prop. And I've interviewed a lot of team leaders, a lot of brokers. I haven't talked to anyone with your particular value proposition. So I'm very excited to learn more about how Global Home Realty got started, what you guys are building. I don't know that this is a dream for people, but there's a certain aspect of this that's just badass and a really cool idea. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Global Home Realty has everything under one roof. It's financing, insurance, and the home purchase sale side, all under one roof, one joint venture. So Brad or Cary, I don't know who wants to start, but what's your background and how did you come up with this? Why are you there? What happened here?
Well, this all started actually when I first met Brad. One of his loan officers was an old friend of mine, and how the loan officers. And so this gentleman that I've known for years had contacted me and say, "Hey, let's do some business." And I said, "Well, who are you with?" And he told me the name, and I was like, kind of unfamiliar. And so I came over here to Brad's office. It's been a few years ago. About 5 years ago.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Got to know them and everything and did a few deals. I'm always a little skeptical in the beginning, but they
of lenders.
Yeah.
Good.
They stepped up to the plate, and I'm a pretty picky individual, and they hit all the right buttons. Someone I feel comfortable working with. Yeah. And so we did a few deals back then, and then the COVID hit and some things. We all went through all that phase for a while, and then Brad contacted me about 4 or 5 months ago, some months ago. 4 or 5 months ago. And he was having a little gathering at the mortgage company. And, so I came out here and we started chatting. And, given the market, what it's doing and what the climate is right now, I always had this in the back of my mind of what this direction of this, industry is going in. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, having the realtors keep more of their commissions in their pocket. A little bit. Yeah. It is. And so I was thinking, and I've done this in the past where we have combined the real estate, the mortgage, insurance, all under one roof. And what's kind of neat about one of these kind of things that we're doing is that, having the client actually talk to a loan officer first and find out where they stand before we hand them off to a realtor, kind of instead of putting the cart before the horse, we're putting the horse before the cart.
Good. I mean, I know everyone listening has that conversation. Yeah, is paramount for every agent. It's like, have you talked to a lender? Why are we talking?
And I've done this in the past where we've been successful at doing that. And I thought Brad would be a good fit on doing something like that. And he's they're very good at what they do. And I thought this would be a good thing. And we started chatting about it, and things kind of progressed. And it was kind of a timing thing for both of us to actually have the time to do this, and the timing was right. And, we kind of talked about it and if we're going to do this, let's do this now by the iron's hot.
Yeah. While we're heading into a recession, realtors may see their volume drop, and this is a chance for them to make the same amount of money, even if they're doing a few less deals. Yeah. Instead of paying 20-30% to a traditional brokerage, you pay $395 per transaction and $395 per year. It should help them keep up their lifestyles even in tougher times.
Yeah, very good. And so you guys are, in terms of the model, then if people, how do those numbers project out without, we don't need to get into the detailed numbers of it, but normal team split or a broker split a normal team split is 20% to the brokerage, and then anywhere from 20 to 40 to 50% to the team leader to run the team. So how does it break out financially that $395 a deal works for them?
When we have teams that come on board, say for instance, some of the teams you're probably familiar with the brokers y'all are with, we're still going to keep it at a certain $395 right now and let the team figure out what splits they want to do under their own group. So we'll take that right there. It's kind of how we're going to run with that now.
Very good.
It's hands off for us. We're not going to be doing business plans for you and budgeting and all that like you may get on a team, where they can add more value in those areas and get a one-on-one coaching situation frequently. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be able to do that for $395.
Right.
So that's where a team lead is going to add value. Yeah,
very good. So I didn't realize you guys were having teams within that structure. So that's very cool.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent.
That's where everything's kind of going now, is all teams. So.
It really is all teams. Yeah. And I'm all for it. I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah, they could have their own entity underneath our brokerage. So,
and a lot of newer agents need it. There's a high, I think I hear something around 90% of the agents fail in the first 2 years.
It's 100%. That's accurate. That is exactly my experience about it. It's at least, my sense is 1 out of 4 make it, if they've gotten coached and they're like that. But yes,
we don't need coaching to get where we are. I've had coaching, it's one of those things. If you want to get any better than where you are right now, you need some help.
Yeah, well, that's just the way life works, right? Is that no one gets, Serena Williams didn't do what she just did without a coach every step of the way. There's no possible way for that achievement to happen without coaching. And that's, people, in winners and people committed to winning understand that. And, there's never been a question about that. And otherwise.
Yeah, it's the Olympics. The first place and the second place people are different by hundredths of a second. Mm-hmm. Okay. And nobody remembers second place, only first place. And in our business, only first place gets paid.
That's right.
Okay. So that's why second place, everybody else is out of the business in 2 years, right, Aaron?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's good. It's a great way to think. I'm going to steal that line, Brad. I like that line. That's right. Second place, only first place gets paid.
In our business, that's it. And then everybody else, they're out.
Yeah. No, it's funny now that you're saying it, because I lost a FSBO deal to another agent. I'm like, that's right. That agent just got paid and I did not.
Well, now think about this. Remember, back in the day where it's still kind of happening, where we have a listing and there might be 30, 40 offers that come in and you get to make that one good phone call. And then you have to make about 35 other calls that are not going to be so good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Very good.
Psychological support. I'm sorry, but you didn't get it.
Yeah.
But, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and people like you. You'll get the next one, buddy.
Very good. Yeah, that is that, and that's gone away to a large extent, that situation. Yeah. All right. Well, talk to me about, the way it's been going. You guys have been in business for a short period of time, but talking about how many people you're attracting, how many agents, and, what's been the reception like, and what is it that really has been working, well, let's just start with that. What's been working and how it's been going?
So we've been adding a few individual agents mainly so far. And then there's one team of about 6 people with a brokerage that starts with an F around here that Cary's engaged and talks with. We're bringing on board hopefully here. So right now it's more for producing agents is what it seems like are the good fits. We talked about just a minute ago, the kind of new agent is not going to be a good fit for this if they want to succeed, unless they just happen to be very good at marketing and sales. Mm-hmm. If their strengths are there for those and they can sell anything, ice Eskimos or whatever, then maybe they're fine for that. But most of this is for an experienced agent who has a book of business that's just tired of getting overcharged and wants to keep more of their commissions or keep what they kill. Cary doesn't like it when I say that. But basically be able to earn up to their potential, Aaron, and to be able to get 100% commission, less a small managerial or accounting type fee of $395, and then have the support of multiple different entities, Global Home Finance and Global Home Insurance, handling quality control and being good vendors for you with respect to the mortgage and the insurance to make sure your deals close and on time so that your brand or reputation is maintained and you don't have to manage those pieces, hopefully. You can just set it and forget it. You just go and sell.
Great. It sounds like, I look forward to talking to you next year as you grow, because that's a huge value prop for, people, like you said, people that have a track record producing agents that, don't need the hand holding, don't need the onboarding into the world of real estate, the 18 months of writing enough contracts that you actually understand what's happening. So I think that's certainly valuable. And for you to bring on teams like that, it's, as long as the team leaders bringing on, going to take care of that hand holding.
Well, that's how we can keep the cost down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need them to manage, and we have the platform.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. And when you say the platform, so do you provide a CRM for anyone? Is there any lead source? Is there any add-ons that people can get? Anything else that you provide?
Yeah, so Global Home, the beautiful part about this, and why I think Cary thought it was a good idea, is Global Home Finance, one of our strengths is probably marketing. We spend thousands of dollars a week on different mail pieces, digital ads like on YouTube.
FaceTube. There we go. All right, Grandma.
Actually, that's I got you. That's ours, by the way.
If they merge, that's what they'll call it. On YouTube, Facebook, Google Ad Network, Instagram, and so forth. We have all of those set up. We have different entities handling that for us. And then we have an entity doing email campaigns out for us, and then direct mail vendors. So we're pretty good at direct mail, and we can generate them pre-qualified buyers, Aaron. It's kind of the point of that.
Totally.
Okay,
I mean, it's a huge advantage there. So those people come to the finance side.
Yes.
And then you pass those off. So how do those go to the agents?
What that lead's going to do is when they first come in here, we'd like them to talk to the loan officer, find out where they stand obtaining a loan, and if they qualify, or if they need to get a roadmap to where they need to be, or whatever the case might be. And then once that lead is ready, then they'll, if they already have a relationship with a realtor, they'll be divvied out to one of our agents. And then that will be on a 50-50 split.
Great. So if you provide the pre-qualified buyer,
yes.
And then as long as I'm asking and it's of interest, that person has a home to sell, that's a 50-50 split as well.
That is correct. Yes. Great. Yeah, we're going to keep it pretty generic, pretty straight across the board. So we won't convolute things too much.
Yeah, no, that's a great deal. I mean, God, I would take a 50-50 pre-qualified buyer all day.
There's some free money. I just drive them around and get a contract. Can you do that?
I wouldn't even drive them around. I'd pay a showing agent $50 to open a door.
There you go. Yeah. And some of those make some good money too.
Yeah, why not? That's they came in pre-qualified with their own lender, with my lender.
That's right.
Right. Someone in my team that's going to handle
everything tied under one roof too. It's nice.
No, that's fabulous. That's a great idea. I really am interested in how that thing plays out. Cause anything else that you offer, anything else that we haven't discussed about that?
So the CRM piece, it's what's that one called? KV Core.
So we're thinking about doing the KV Core once we get a few realtors on board, and once we get it off the ground. They want that
product. Yeah, we have to have agents that want that product, but we've already engaged in talks with them, so we'll have that available. And then beyond there, assistance with websites and things of that nature from vendors that we've vetted that we know do a good job. Put some level of SEO behind it. They're people that we have a little bit more of a kind of like in with, and we know they're not going to just charge you for nothing. Okay, because I'm a member of a group that CEOs run companies, and they go to these guys. And so I can be like, hey, CEO Coaching International referred me to you, so I need you to do this for them. And then it's more buying power, because then it's like, well, I'll tell everyone in my group that you're not doing your job, or you can just do your job, which is it. And it really creates, I think, a better experience for those that are then using our vendors for that too.
Yeah, very good.
We'll have that security that they can tell someone what's going on, and there's accountability.
Yeah, good.
So some of the things that we offer, we do have a nice building on Stemmons Freeway, which is one of the big freeways through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We have plenty of office space. We do have offices for rent if any of the teams need an office. We have cubicle space. We're going to have all the secure internet, emails, everything that they would need. We can supply also. That's already in place.
Dynamite. That's great. And what are say it this way, but however you want to hear it, is what keeps you up at night? What are the problems you got? Where are the roadblocks? What are you dealing with? What if someone's going to coach you on something? What are you looking for? What keeps you up at night?
Well, I sleep pretty well. I would have to say what the market's doing. What the market's doing. If it's going, the luxury market's never going to really change from the Dallas area. It's going to stay pretty steady. What the seller market's doing, how severe it's been, and if it's going to start relaxing some, and if the market starts flipping a little bit, What's that going to do to our, strategy of what we're doing here? We always have to adapt.
Yep.
To keep the doors open, just staying one step ahead, basically, of what the market's doing. So we can always provide a good, what we're doing for our realtors, basically.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, cool. That's great. So how to think about all that. And then Brad, anything for you? Any roadblocks, any places where you find yourself?
Well, remember, I do mortgage and insurance. So for mortgages, what's the Federal Reserve going to do next? And how much higher is the interest rate going to go? And what's affordability for people? Because every 0.25% the rates go up, it cuts off something like 7% of the population that's going to be able to afford that same house. So, we look at that, and then I have a lot of staff that I'm always making sure to watch out for, and 4 kids and a wife, Aaron. So there's plenty, and 2 of them are under 2. So there's plenty that keeps me awake at night.
Yeah, right. Well, I didn't mean kids. I got 2 kids too. So I just, I'm always looking for what I just like to ask, because I always want to know what other people are, dealing with in terms of training their teams and building their businesses out and like that. So
getting good people is probably the number one challenge. I mean, it really is. It almost always is the thing that, as a business owner, getting the right people in place in the right seat.
Yep. That's
probably number one. Then what are interest rates going to do, and how many people is it going to push out is number 2, because I know my volume is going to change.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've seen a bigger impact with our loan officers, with my community of loan officers than I have with the agents that I interact with in terms of being pushed out, given there's no more refi, and the big companies all hired for refi, and that's all.
Yeah. And
no one's refining now.
Yeah, the thing that I saw in my own experience, like when I was 22, I got into mortgages. And so those big companies hire people that are inexperienced to do refinances because they're easier, and it's not as much of a relationship, it's more transactional. How much am I saving a month? What's my interest rate? Okay, versus what house can I live in, and what neighborhood can I be in? And,
right.
Who's going to be able to guide me, and then who has a relationship with the realtor that the realtor can trust them and knows they're going to deliver and be available nights and weekends. Those guys that are getting in, they don't pivot when you go to this type of market to purchases because they don't know how, and many don't know how to lead them to do that. Then even if you are telling them, hey, you got to do this, and give them a lot of notice, it doesn't mean they will. You can try, and you can give them the sales collateral, but it's really hard to want to go out there if you're a loan officer and start pounding pavement and knocking on doors and building relationships when you can just take a phone call and make a big paycheck.
Yeah.
It's grasshopper and ant stuff, Aaron, I think, in that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I agree. I think that's why I'm not particularly worried about what the market's going to do, because I can hear it, Cary, from a strategic standpoint, but from there's a vantage point, and I'm sure you would agree that, great, this is going to kick out all the weaker agents and I'll be able to take market share, because that's
right. Yeah.
That's, that no problem. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah. If we were doing a different market, if we were in a, like the Park Cities here, where it's a real high-end market, that it wouldn't matter what happens. These people would never fluctuate, but what we're doing here, we're, working with the masses.
Yeah.
So then every little bit of details plays a role.
Yeah.
So we need to consider all that.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Great. All right. Anything I didn't ask that I should have asked?
I guess we're just trying to put it out there that we're home of the 395 and everything's under one roof. There's not. We think we have a unique value proposition, and we're trying to add more value than anyone else.
Yeah. Brad's been in business for 15, 16 years now.
Yeah, about it's actually a little over 14. It'll be 15, 15 next years. March.
Yeah.
But I've been in the business 19, but the Global Home Finance has been around that long, serving Texas. And so we've got a great platform for realtors who want to come on board, keep more of what they kill, and really make a difference in their own personal financial health.
Yeah. I've been in business. I got my license back in 98.
Yeah.
I was actually in new home sales before that for a couple of years, and got licensed in 98, got my broker's license back in 2005. Then I brokered several offices. I've been a sales manager for several offices and seen just about everything. So, coming with a little bit of history here.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of agility in that.
Yes.
Great. Well, then the last question, just Brad, Cary, is what should I be reading? What are you reading now or listening to?
I'll go first. Well, I do Joe Rogan.
There you go.
Okay.
My podcast. I'm a Joe Rogan fan. So, and let's see here. What I should be reading? Let's see. What am I reading right now? I'm more of a news guy.
Okay.
I keep up with all the latest news and everything, and all the basically what's happening over in Europe. I'm a weather geek, so I like to have what's happening with all the weather and everything's happening, climate and all that. That's kind of my interest kind of peaked that way because I like to see all the different, and then what NASA's doing and, what, of course, what's happening here in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
all the corporations that are heading this direction, why they're heading over here and, what Tesla's doing, what Elon's doing, what corporations are coming to this area. So I kind of keep up with that. So that kind of piques my interest.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Brad?
So books, 4 Disciplines of Execution for management or leadership. For marketing, I like anything almost Dan Kennedy does. He does all the no BS type books and things.
Big fan.
Really great guy. Lots of experience. That guy's been around a long time. Simon Sinek's for podcast for leadership. He does TED Talks and things like that.
Yeah,
Speaks for Apple, Microsoft, etc.
Yeah.
For personal kind of enrichment and well-being, Jordan Peterson. I like that guy a lot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Great. I love the thinking. I love where you guys are coming from. And I always keep the show notes of this so that when I get my next, when I'm like, what should I listen to next? You know, they can check those out. So fabulous. Well, I really appreciate your time, gentlemen. I thank you for the contribution you are. And I look forward to seeing you down the road. We should circle back in a year. I want to see how big this thing is growing. It'd be fascinating.
Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Abundant Life Podcast, brought to you by Christine & Company and eXp Realty, the global online brokerage powered by top agents and cutting-edge technology. If you liked what you heard, consider subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. Your hosts have been award-winning brokers Christine Andreasen and Aaron Hendon. For more on them, visit christineandcompany.com.